The woman uses her fingers to pry out her own eyeball with disturbing precision. Then as the man watches in absolute shock, she peels off what turns out to be a realistic face mask. She removes the wig from her head, revealing her true identity underneath. The man instantly realizes that he is completely and utterly screwed. It turns out that just moments earlier his lawyer had given him some crucial legal advice. If he wanted to avoid conviction, the only way out is to pin the boy's death entirely on his deceased mistress. The man had airline tickets and hotel receipts from Paris that would serve as his alibi. Since his mistress was already dead, it would be impossible for her to defend herself against these accusations. But in order to successfully frame his dead mistress, the police would need to locate the boy's body first. They would also need to find evidence at the scene that could be linked back to the woman. So their immediate priority was to figure out exactly where the boy's corpse was hidden. The lawyer immediately pulled out a detailed map and demanded that the man reveal the exact dumping location. But at this critical moment the man suddenly starts to hesitate. He claims that the prosecution's key witness definitely saw his face during the incident. The lawyer unexpectedly reveals that the prosecution doesn't actually have any eyewitness at all. The only reason he said that was to trick the man into revealing every single detail of what really happened. When the man hears this revelation, he's completely stunned into silence. But then he feels a huge wave of relief wash over him. Based on the lawyer's impressive skills so far, he's clearly the only person the man can trust right now. The man immediately marks the exact body disposal location on the map without any further hesitation. Then he decides to reveal an even more disturbing truth to his lawyer. It turns out that when he was originally disposing of the body, something terrible happened. Just as he was about to push the car into the lake, he heard frantic knocking sounds coming from inside. When he opened the trunk to investigate, he made a horrifying discovery. The boy was actually still alive and hadn't died from the initial impact. He had only been severely injured and knocked unconscious from the crash. But instead of calling for medical help to save the boy's life, the man made a cold-blooded decision. He simply slammed the trunk shut and pushed the entire car into the lake anyway. When the lawyer hears this confession, his eyes widen in complete disbelief. His face shows a mixture of pure shock and burning rage. He never imagined that this man could be so absolutely heartless and cruel. He angrily tells the man that he will never help a genuine murderer escape justice. But at this point the man has completely dropped his act and stops pretending. He reveals an even more terrifying truth about what really happened that night. After the original car accident occurred, it was actually his mistress who wanted to call the police. He was the one who stopped her from making that call. The idea to dispose of the body was entirely his suggestion from the beginning. He was also the one who created fake evidence to make it look like the boy had run away with stolen money. Later his mistress called him in a panic, saying she couldn't live with the guilt anymore. She had confessed everything to the boy's parents and wanted the man to pay them compensation money. She arranged to meet him at a hotel to discuss this plan. But he had absolutely no intention of paying the boy's parents any money whatsoever, because making any payment would basically be admitting his involvement in their son's death. When his mistress threatened to call the police immediately, this completely enraged him beyond control. So he decided to take drastic action and murdered his mistress in cold blood. Then he deliberately smashed his own head against a mirror to create fake injuries. This was all designed to make it look like he had been attacked by some unknown third party. The lawyer is absolutely shocked when he hears this complete confession. But in order to maintain his perfect record of never losing a case, he still agrees to help clear the man's name. He then turns around and leaves the room without saying another word. However, at that moment the man receives an unexpected phone call. It's his secretary calling to inform him that his lawyer is on his way over to ask him some detailed questions. When the man hears this, he's completely confused and frozen in place. Didn't his lawyer just leave the room only moments ago? Suddenly a terrifying realization starts to dawn on him. He turns to look at the one-way mirror where he knows the boy's father has been watching him. What he sees behind that glass makes his blood run completely cold. The lawyer who just spent all this time talking with him is standing right there in that observation room. Then right in front of the man's horrified eyes, the lawyer removes his contact lenses. He peels off yet another layer of prosthetic mask from his face, revealing his true identity. It's actually the dead boy's mother, who has been disguised as his lawyer this entire time. The man stands there completely paralyzed, unable to move or speak. Their entire conversation was definitely recorded from beginning to end. At this point, even if the world's greatest defense attorney came to help him, it would be completely hopeless.